Weingarten. Remember her? She's the president of the American Federation of Teachers. They represent 1.7 million teachers nationwide. Weingarten wants amnesty now for anybody who made bad decisions during the pandemic that closed schools. We know those bad decisions caused catastrophic learning loss for our children. And we also know Weingarten pushed hard for those shutdowns. She tweeted, "I agree to a controversial article in The Atlantic arguing for pandemic amnesty." Senator Ted Cruz, one of many people going after the very powerful union leader, Weingarten.
One of the most toxic voices fighting against kids, fighting against school choice everywhere she can. You know, we now have emails where Randi Weingarten was urging the Biden administration, please shut down the schools, keep them shut down.
Speaking of Weingarten, she's been on the campaign trail for Democrats. Well, this is interesting. No, she's not talking about education. Wait till you see it. She was actually talking about J.D. Vance in Ohio, the Republican who's running there, while stumping for Tim Ryan in that state's hot Senate race. Just watch.
I've watched him basically be a shill for the party that wants to cut taxes for the rich and wants to cut the hard-earned benefits that Ohioans have earned, like Social Security and Medicare, wants to cut our future, like schools and children. For what? For what?
Well, we finally figured out what gets her going. It's not shutdowns and children and education. It's I don't even know why she was screaming. Anyway, power panel now. Doug Collins, former Georgia congressman. Kevin Walling, former Biden campaign surrogate. So you've been a surrogate, Kevin. I've never seen you act like that. That woman leads 1.7 million teachers. What is going on?
Well, listen, she's fired up. I'm a calm, cool,
but
collected kind of guy.
Why do they need her? They have the president. What your party needs Randi Weingarten?
My party doesn't need Randi Weingarten. She's talking to her members, I think, in Ohio in terms of the AFT out there stumping for Tim Ryan 6 days out from the election. So she's talking to union members about the critical nature of this election. I'm a calm guy. I don't like to yell and scream. I've been on your show for years. Harris, that's just not my personality.
Yeah, and what you're intimating there very quietly is that you feel like you've had a lot of reasons to yell and scream. Doug.
No.
Hey, it's amazing. In these last few days, let's just keep getting more of Randi out there. I'm of the persuasion, let's just put her out there more, because this is what we've been saying all along. Her focus has been on teachers and liberal ideology, right, not students. And I think that's become the big, key issue. You've heard it in the Virginia 7th and others, is this education issue through the pandemic is something now people are much more in tune to, and the teachers union, that was their playfield to be in, and they're now being threatened by the questions coming up. And she was again shown herself to be more concerned about teachers and union issues than kids. That's really, really important and interesting what you're saying, because if there were ever a doubt that she was focused on politics over children, she now is rubber stamping that with her hands waving in the air like she just doesn't care. I'll go again in reverse order. Doug. Yeah, it just shows it. And again, like I said, for Republicans, sometimes
may not understand what is at stake in the midterm elections.
Are you concerned that maybe voters are not putting those pieces together, that having a Republican House would mean that the people you're talking about would be even more empowered?
Well, I think with all of the noise that we've got in this election season, I don't think people are able to really grasp that. But more importantly, I'm not sure they really understand the threats to their way of life.
Deplorables 2.0. Anybody? Anybody? Kevin?
Well, Harris, I don't think it's a winning strategy ever to talk down to voters, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican in the case of Secretary Clinton.
Why does she keep doing it?
I joined Fox News to talk about the issues and to persuade viewers about what good things Democrats are doing. For example, we cut childhood tax.
So hold on, I'm not going to let you dodge the question about Hillary Clinton, because she too is a voice that's out there in the down stretch to November 8th. I mean, it's basically her, a few others, and Barack Obama. So I don't want you to dodge that. What do you think about what she's doing? Because that stuff is contagious. Everybody caught the deplorables.
I'm saying, Harris, we've got to put out a positive vision for why voters should stick with the Democratic Party 6 days out. I don't think it's helpful when we talk down to voters in any condition, in any way. We've got to make a persuasive argument why Democrats are actually the better party when it comes to economic issues for what we've been doing for the last 2 years. We can say, Secretary Clinton was talking about, the economic situation of Americans. As I was saying before, we cut childhood poverty in half in 2 years. Now, we shouldn't go to parents and say, now, how stupid could you be to vote against your own child's interest? We should say, look at what we're doing and stick with us, stay the course.
Doug.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why you have Kevin trying to repair this. But I'm beginning to believe that Ronald McDaniel at the RNC actually has a secret strategy, and maybe that Hillary Clinton and Randy Weingarten are actually surrogates that we're if we're not helping fund them, let's get them out there more, because it seems like it seems frankly like that Hillary Clinton didn't realize that the just absolute breakdown of the 2016 election where she lost had a lot to do with the fact that people believed that she thought the country was basically stupid if they didn't believe with them.
Wow. Well, one thing is for sure, the party who chose to pay the other side is probably not happy about that now. That would be the Democrats who paid all of those candidates in places where they thought that they had an